I think the worst experience I ever had was when I bought one of those ready-made sandwiches like from Tesco or Sainsbury's or whatever. And I was trying to figure out how to open it and I just couldn't, so I actually had to wait till I got home and use some scissors to open it up.
I think actually vegetables are overpackaged generally. I'd much rather be able to select my own fruit and veg and put it in a bag and have it weighed, or even not put it in a bag, which would cause chaos at the checkouts. But I think everything is generally overpackaged.
I can't work tin openers, so that really stresses me out. And you know when it breaks off the little ring pull, that's quite stressful.
I think the labelling is quite inaccurate. I think sometimes if you look at the kind of salt content or you look at the calorific content of food, I think really it could be clearer. I think there should be some kind of greater clarity and simplicity around star rating or some form of kind of simple rating that people can understand. I think typically you find that, particularly with young children, you find that you do what you really want to see is you really want some clarity about what you're buying and what the kind of content, the sodium or whatever the sugar contents are. It would be much better if it was more straightforward in its labelling.
I think it's much better to have less packaging. In the farmers market you can take back the egg cartons, you can take back bags to put your fruit in or whatever you're buying, and it's so much more sustainable for the environment.
I once brought fruit, the milkshakes, and one of them must have had a little hole in it, and it was like sour milk. When I tried to drink into it, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant at all.
Eggs are often broken in a supermarket. Packaging isn't ideal.
Yogurts. Sometimes you open a yogurt and it goes everywhere.
I slashed my finger on a aluminium can when you're opening the top when I was about 6. So yeah, that was horrific.
I was opening a pack of Tang Fastics with my mouth and I kind of slashed the inside of my mouth.
I don't know, you pop the top, let's say a microwave meal, and it goes everywhere. Tin of sausages, peel top, hot, and the whole thing just went explode. Hot dog sausages. Well, it did put me off, yeah. You wonder how it could explode into all over the ceiling.
Some of my worst experiences are just packaging that you can't get into, and I guess that's stuff that's that relatively thick plastic but shrink wrapped onto things that you kind of need to lever out with a knife. I think I've damaged myself before trying to open one of those. If I had the choice between one that did and one that didn't, I would choose the one that didn't have as much packaging, definitely.
Ring pulls, they can sometimes come off on top of a can that doesn't need to be opened. And yeah, that's frustrating, because then I think I had that happen to me once, and then the can wasn't suited to being opened with a can opener.
Packaging, when it's damp, when it comes from the freezer, that you pick it up and it just falls to pieces. I would think it'd be better maybe sealed packaging rather than paper.
Too much packaging on everything. Just too much to throw away at the end of it. Bad for the environment and a bit of a pain in the neck, really.
I think we use far too much plastics in packaging. There's when it comes to recycling, I think there's a lot more that the supermarkets could do with packaging to make it more recyclable friendly. I think plastics, and certainly when you look at the size of a plastic container and what it's containing, it just seems ridiculously wasteful. It really does. Some of the drinks cartons can be a little bit, can put up a bit of a fight. So yeah, I've had experiences and had to take to the cutlery drawer to get into the packaging.
When you're taking the plastic off, ready meals and stuff, and you get the round bit comes off and it stays in the middle.
I bought some tea bags yesterday and trying to find out how to open them. It was really drove me nuts. In the end, I had to get a knife out and stab it.
I just think some of the packaging is just totally over the top these days. I mean, luckily I'm okay, but I think of my sort of mother who's older than me. I've had to literally break into a sandwich some days because there's so much packaging on it that it's virtually impossible to get in without an implement. And I just think there's a lot of that these days. I think things are over-packaged these days.
I think the worst things for packaging generally are opening biscuits. Packets of biscuits are a nightmare, I've decided. You just need a sharp-pointed knife and you cut your fingers off, especially if you give them to children to do.
Yeah, I bought a salad from Tesco's and there was a bug in it. I was just about to open it and I left it on the side. And there's this black beetle just walking around the side of it.
You get bugs and stuff in lettuce and you open it up and you're like, that's disgusting. Then I don't really see how you could stop that.
There's still quite a lot that you can't recycle
in terms of like lids and stuff on bottles, and it seems to still be plastic, but you can't put it in a recycling bin. I think that's probably the worst ever case I've had.
There's too much packaging, isn't there? And you kind of end up going from one layer to the next and things, and you just have to get your teeth into it in the end, don't you? And it's not just like an easy peel or something. It can be quite tricky.
For like ready meals, so like lasagnas or something, sometimes when you have to heat up for a long time, right? Sometimes like the plastic starts melting and stuff like that, and that's not really good at all, like health-wise, and like you don't really want it when you pay for something. You want it to be like all right, at least pretty good, and when it starts melting, it's just like you can't even eat it.
Tins I always have an issue with. I feel like I have the tin like openers and stuff, but I can never use them.
The bacon and ham packages, etc. They have that little tab in the corner that you're supposed to be able to lift and peel off. Very rare. Very rare. You have to get the knife out.
Liquids and stuff. The kind of the top of it can be a little bit fiddly to use, and there's sometimes like little ridges which makes it very difficult to actually pour like milk and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, can't get into the damn stuff. It's all vacuum wrapped, tightly wrapped. You can't even find an entry point. You've got to get a sharp knife to get in it. So.